everybody at home? Guess what? Today we're making an economy bowl out of mahogany. Sweet. Alright guys, so an economy bowl is basically building a single bowl out of a single plank of wood. Today I've chosen mahogany. So the way we're going to start this project is my blank here is about 35 inches, 35 and 1/8 inches. So what I want to do is find the center. So the center of our blank is going to be about 17 and 5/8. So we're going to go ahead, make a mark there. Let's go ahead, double check it on the other side. We match up. So what we want to go ahead and do is mark our line right down the center, and what we're going to do to this board is we're going to cut it right down the middle. What I want to go ahead and do now is take them over to the joiner, and I'm going to actually joint these two sides. First thing you always want to check, make sure your table is 90 degrees to itself. Make sure your fence is 90 degrees to the table. So now we're going to go ahead, take our mahogany pieces, run them through. Remember, light passes are always best at the jointer. There, that's going to give us a nice glue line right down the center. So the stock that I'm using in this project is 3/4 of an inch thick. What we're going to go ahead and do now is we want to lay out consecutive rings. So for you guys at home, depending on what stock you're using, each one of my rings is going to be 3/4 of an inch bigger than the last, because I am using 3/4 inch stock. So if you at home have 1 inch stock, you're going to make each consecutive circle 1 inch. If you have, let's say, 7/8 of an inch stock, you're going to make each ring 7/8 of an inch larger. The only thing that varies from board to board is how big you're going to make the bottom of your bowl. So let me go ahead, let's grab our calipers and let's start laying out our economy bowl. Alright guys, so now we're set up for a little bit of layout. This is really easy. What I did before I got started was I had a couple scrap pieces of mahogany. I cut out a 6-inch circle. That's what I want my base to be. And then I glued on a separate little piece here. This is going to fit into the chuck on my lathe. So that is something that I did set up. So with that being 6 inches, I want my second half of the bottom to start right in the center of my board. So I used my tape measure, I found the center of my board. Now I've got my compass set to just a little bit bigger than what I've got here. So I'm going to do about 6 1/4 inches on that. So I've got my compass set to 3 1/8. So I'm going to go ahead, draw a circle. Sweet. And that's going to be our starting point. So since my stock is 3/4 of an inch, we need to come out every 3/4 and mark a new line. So I'm going to just use my ruler for that. Another way you can do it to save yourself some time is to take your compass, if you've got 2 of them, close them up, and just open them to that 3/4 mark, like so. Boom. And then from the outside of each line, you can go ahead and plot your course that way. So there's a lot of ways you can get this layout done. Those are just a few that I've suggested. So we'll go ahead and we'll finish marking out our circles. I've got my table tipped to 45 degrees. I've got, I think it's a 1/4 inch blade on this. That's plenty big enough to turn the radius of this bowl. So let's go ahead, let's kick on the bandsaw. Let's get these pieces cut out. Woo! Sweet, let's go finish up the other half. We've got all of our pieces cut out. That took a good 16 minutes. So now what we have to go ahead and do is glue all of our ends together. Let me show you guys how I go ahead and do that. Is start from the bottom, and we got to get these glued up. I don't know what the best way is to clamp these, so I went over to the hardware store and I found something that DAP makes. It's a rapid fuse, all-purpose adhesive. It bonds virtually everything, is what it says. Sets in 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be the clamp, and I'm going to hold these together like so after I glue them, and we'll slowly work our way around. So we gave that half an hour to dry. That was pretty cool. This is kind of the shape and size of a bowl that I ended up with. It's pretty big. We could put a lot of fruits and vegetables in that. I think that's awesome. We could put a lot of stuff in it. I like bowls that you can put a lot of stuff in. So now the next step is we need to work on gluing the rest of this up. So what I did, I took the flattest surface in my workshop. I taped some sandpaper to it. Now it's all a matter of getting it flat. So I'm going to work on all these pieces, all these edges. I'm going to get that little bit of extra glue off of there. That's going to give us a pristine finish. And then from there, we're going to go ahead, glue it up, attach this thing to the lathe, and finally get some turning. Woo! we got the bowl glued up. I can't believe it. That's awesome. She's kind of creaking. Got creative with my glue up. You guys could probably do the same. The most challenging part of this job is probably the glue up. So that's what I did. I had these little rib pieces down here on my lathe. I don't know if you can see that, but ended up using those to get it mounted and glued up. Now we're gonna just let it kind of sit there overnight, let it cook, and tomorrow morning we'll be able to get an awesome bowl out of this. I can't wait to put stuff in it, guys. Woo! Ladies, gentlemen, good morning. We've got the bowl attached to the lathe. We've got a fresh edge. I think it's about time we get some turning done. Yeah. Let's go ahead, let me swing you guys around. We'll kick this thing on and make some shavings. Alright, sweet guys, so I've got you here on the back end. What I'm going to go ahead and do, I set my lathe to 400. I'm going to go ahead and work on this little bottom area. Then I'll be able to get my tool rest in there and start shaving down the side of my bowl. Here we go. We finished the outside. That turned out really nice. So now we're going to go ahead and work on the inside. Let me go ahead, square the front of this up, and then we'll work into our bowl. Ladies, gentlemen, the bowl is done. Guess what's left? I gotta sand it. So that means I went ahead, like always, I took that vote, and y'all said you don't want to see that. So give me some time. Let me grab like 4 or 5 different grits of sandpaper and get this sanded, shined up, and we'll be able to finish it. Woo! Ladies, gentlemen, we're done sanding. Yeah! Alright, sanded it down to 400, 2 coats of sanding sealer. This is where we're at. I've got my friction polish here. Let me grab some napkins. We'll kick the lathe on. I want to bring you guys in just a little bit so you can go ahead and watch how this comes alive. This is going to be really cool, guys. I'm super excited. Alright, let's get her done. Now that is a fantastic finish. Guys, if you want to see how I've made this finish, I've got a couple other videos. I'll put the descriptions of those down below, and you'll be able to click on that and see how you guys at home can make this amazing finish. Ladies, gentlemen, project's done. Here's the bottom. It was a little dodgy cutting this thing off, but I did it. Yeah. But all in all, the Economy Bowl is fantastic. This thing is gigantic. It's bigger than my chest. I'm about to take this into my wife. We're about to make a giant salad. It's going to be amazing. Guys, if you like this video, be sure, give me a giant thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Thank you.